taking in consideration her history and everything she is going through, you had a lot of success with her. Most dogs that we see that had a history of abuse, especially severe history and social deprivation, not always we get to this point that she's already in a year. So I think we are very confident that if you keep on working with her this way, we are going to have more and more improvement. And what else? I'm sure I'm forgetting something important. Something very important. You said you're not having problems with the dogs in the bed anymore, now that you're managing the situation the way you are, so we are not going to touch that.
Okay.
But I want you to let you know that's a very fragile balance you have there. Because as much as they have resource guards into the other items, like the raw rides and the combs and maybe food, the bed is a resource. So if you really want to avoid any problems, the only way to do that, and the easiest, would be to nobody go to the bed. Since you said that you want them to be there, so let's keep it this way for now. Let's not touch something that is working, but if you have any problems with that, let us know.
Okay.
Because I wouldn't be surprised if at some point you have.
Okay.
Because it's a very delicate balance there.
Yeah.
Three girls in the bed.
Well, hopefully if we can get her settled down a little, then maybe some of that will.
Could be, but you can also keep in mind the better she gets, the less fearful, the less anxious, the more active and responsive to the environment she's going to get as well. So it could be that she gets more personality. At some point she decides to be more active on the hierarchy. That's possible. That doesn't mean she's getting worse, that means she's getting better. But it could happen. We don't know now. So this is a handling exercise.
Okay.
That you can do. You don't need to do this now, but that's very important for her to use it not only to have strangers around her, but also to be handled by strangers. So it's a long handout because it's a very step-by-step one.
Okay.
And we also gave you some instructions on children's storm phobia. We didn't address this now on the instructions because you said that's not your main goal for her now. Maybe in 3 months when you come back we can do this more actively, but you already have it if you want to work on this at some point. Also something on barking, which I think it's under control from what you said, but we have some information.
But we know, every now and then she starts and we have to turn our back and walk away from the kitchen.
But that's it, keep working.
Yeah, you have a very good strategy on that one.
It's very hard. That's very hard to control when you have house. You expect them to bark.
Yep. So we have a very lucky combination of a good trainer and a patient owner. That is perfect.
Exactly. Very rare. So do you guys have any questions at this point?
I think pretty much.
I don't think so. I'm just happy to know that we're doing all the right things. You just hope that.
She's a hard case. She needs medication, and just to let you know, there are quite a few medication things we could potentially try with her, and may end up going to, especially if you feel like she's plateaued. But we don't like to make too many changes at once.
Right.
So at this point, we're increasing the frequency of using alprazolam. And in addition to for the car training sessions, the car training, thunderstorms, or if anything's going to happen that day that you think would be a big stressor, you can give her a second dose.
A lot of company. What about a lot of company?
On Monday.
Yeah, that was my question, with a lot of company in the house.
She acts very calm and fine with it.
No, she's nervous when company's approaching.
Okay, no, I mean when she's on the alprazolam for the thunderstorms.
There's only been one time that I gave her the maximum dosage because this gas was coming, and then it just flew by us and we never had anything. Okay. So that was the only time I really observed her without the additional stress of the storm.
Okay.
Under the influence of and yes, it was like, I said to my husband, it's like she's like a normal dog.
Okay.
Just brought everything down, that she just was not near as reactive to, and I can't remember what was going on that evening, but like cars going by, and, but I just remember thinking to myself, she just had that little something just to cut that anxiety.
Yeah, from what you described, it sounds like it might be a good idea. Do be aware that one potential problem with benzodiazepine like alprazolam and people is that we can get loss of inhibition. So it can help fear aggression by making the dog not fearful and relaxed, but it can backfire by making them uninhibited. So, is there some way you can minimize contact and interaction between Sadie and the visitors, but she's had it just so that she won't get upset with them being in the house?
I'd hate to have to separate her because it would really isolate her.
Yeah, okay, that's not a good idea.
What we have done in the past is, Julie, my friend, she's been here before, and she had reacted to the company just before Julie came the last time she was here. And I said, Julie, when you come out of the bedroom, just give me a holler and give me a second, you know, and we were just all ready with treats and put her on a lead to make sure, of course, that to prevent any contact. And then we were just doling out the treats when she came out, and then Julie would come out and feed her. And then by the end of Julie's visit, because Julie can be lower key, there was no issue.
Okay, okay.
And no more.
That kind of thing can be good, and also just asking your friends, telling them she can be fear aggressor, she's been abused, and to just not try to initiate interaction with her. Most fear aggressors, if somebody just pretends they're not there and doesn't try to interact with them, it's going to be fine. And where we get into problems is if they I want to go pet the nice doggy, and that scares the dog, and then we get an incident.
So when company arrives, my best bet is to just say, just don't look at her. Just ignore.
Don't look at her. Don't try to pet her, please. I know she looks sweet, but we're trying to get her over thinking that humans are kind of scary. And the best way to do that is to just ignore her.
Okay. But it's okay now. I've had folks sit down with a little pile of treats on the dining room table and just...
Yeah, if she's responding well to that, yes, that's fine. Okay. And, you know, if you want to do that and you're got any doubt about giving her the treats, they could just drop them on the floor, too. Yeah.
I've never been real concerned, just, you know, I was concerned enough to intervene, but I've never really felt that she really would until lately, you know, that I'm kind of like, you know, just, and maybe it's because of all the reading I've done. I know more.
Yes, anything is possible. A dog that has never bitten anyone ever, or growled, or snarled, or snapped, or anything, is perfectly capable of biting. So, that's the situation we have dogs right now.
They're lovely creatures.
So, okay. Well, one thing that is very important as far as treatment is for you to maintain regular contact with us. Okay. The fee you pay today covers 3 months of as much email and phone communication as you need. Okay. So, ideally what I like is to hear from owners at least every 2 weeks. Okay. If things are going well. Is email easy for you? So that's wonderful, because you email us, you can print it out and put it in the record, the documentation of what's been going on with her, and then email you back specific instructions. Okay. So that'll be great. So if you can do that at least every 2 weeks, and more frequently if you're having problems, questions, that kind of thing. Okay?
Something I didn't mention in the instructions that we talked about briefly. If you believe it's important that she keeps using the GAP and you are kind of annoyed with the cost of the diffusers, I would just get a collar, GAP collar.
Okay.
What's a collar?
They're collars.
They're collars.
Really?
So you'll make sure it's always on her and having effects on her. And it's cheaper because it's just one. And it's the same thing, you change every 30 days.
What's your opinion, if you have one? I've seen the Comquill, the little attachments to a collar, another brand, different kind of, I don't even know if they call it a pheromone or what they call it, but have you used those or know anything? Okay.
I have not seen, I know there's a couple of companies that are coming out with mimicking products, and I'm not aware of any documentation of their efficacy.
Okay.
Yeah. the only one I actually have used with success is the Siva products.
Okay.
That actually deal
Okay.
with color. So that could be an
Okay.
option.
And which is not to say that in the long run, they may be perfectly
Right.
good products.
Right.
But
Right.
I haven't seen any good documentation.
Okay. I usually always recommend Adapt.
Okay, girl.
Great.
Ladies, thank you for all the training.
Yeah, thank you. There's Sadie. Good girl, Sadie.
Yeah.
See you next time.